G'day everybody. Today's little video is about some of my cold steel folders. I got a bunch here that these are all the triad locks, and I got a couple here that are like liner locks. I'll sort of do their own main segments, but what prompted this video was I got a couple of new knives. The Talwar, the S35VN steel, and the Lite. This one's just the cheap one with the Oz 8A steel, with the Zytec handles or whatever it's called, scales. And to be straight up, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Lites, and probably won't get any more. The main reason why I'm not a real big fan of them, especially compared to, like, say, the Luzon, which is a cheaper knife. This one's made in China, these ones are made in Taiwan. They're similar, but they're different. But the main reason why I don't like the Lites is because of how hard they are to close. They're extremely hard to close, and I thought this was the first one I bought, the Lynn Thompson sort of crisp blade with the signature on there on the box. Only signatures also on the blade there. I thought that maybe I had a one-off really hard to close knife, maybe because it's the signature collector sort of edition one, but it's not. They're both the same. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. There's a really good amount of steel on the liner lockup area, which is really good on both knives. Like, this one is more than 3/4, and I'm talking about just here where the liner locks up on the blade. You may be able to see it. I won't know until I edit this, but that's almost full lockup. Okay, but to undo this requires a lot of force. Like, you can push it to the edge, but just to get it that last little bit more, like, I'm really pushing. Can you see the indent in my thumb? So these are certainly not what some people would call like a fidget sort of a knife. You can't flick these open and close them really easy. Maybe there's a way to take a bit of spring tension off there. This one gets about 2/3 to 3/4 lock up, but it's certainly not an enjoyable to close that. It's not enjoyable at all. And you do this a dozen times or maybe more, like I've done this morning, and you can feel it all day. Your thumb stays sore all day. So you know, it's probably, in the lead up to the video, I've probably opened and closed them about another 5 or 6 times. So, oh, sorry, even more than that. So I'm probably up to about 30 open and closes today or more, and my thumb really knows all about it. So that's why I don't like them. And on the other side of the coin, the Luzon large, or I got the little 4-inch one here too, but that just opens so easy. It's like, this is why I like the Luzon. I've got 3 of them. That is just absolutely effortless. Even the wrong way up, it still just opens perfectly, beautifully. It is made in China, but they've done something right here because it's working fantastic. But the thing about it is you can close it really easily as well. I'll just put the lock on there. That's no drama at all. So to lock that, easy. This one does have the manual sort of liner lock on there, which gives you a little bit more security, I suppose. It's a mechanical lock, but it's not hard to engage or disengage. It's quite easy. You can see that the locking material, the liner material, is thinner than what's on the tie Lite, and probably only does half the coverage of the blade in the lockup area. However, that's probably goes a long way to what makes it easier to open and close, or at least to close anyway. But giving it that manual safety sort of probably makes up for that. So as a fidgeting knife, it's hard to beat like the Luzon, you know, and I'm assuming that the length and the weight in that long blade would make it easier to open and potentially close. But even the 4-incher that opens really well. This one closes is a little bit harder to close, but not a lot. Opens easy though, and again, manual safety. And I just put that down to being a little bit harder to close because it's smaller. You don't have as much surface area to get your thumb on there to close it. So anyway, that'll be pretty much enough on the tie lights. Both of these are 6-inch versions. Both of them got the Zytel handles. There's not a whole heap. The steel. The steel on the Chris is 440C, and the steel on this one is Oz 8A. And on the cold steel Luzon large, it's only 8CR13 MOV. However, to be honest, for its intended roles, you don't need a super steel. Both of these knives, I think one was like 95 Australian dollars, the other one was 120 or something thereabouts. I would still prefer this knife over those two. It's going to do everything that these ones will do. It'll sharpen up a little bit easier, most likely. It's still a reasonably good stainless. Weight, it's not much heavier. And thickness of the handles is very comparable. Mind you, both of these in the folded up position, both of these center perfectly. I've checked both of these, they both center really well. So the fit and the finish and all that stuff, I'm not faulting it at all. It's just really hard to close and my thumb can feel it. But if that was, you know, a self-defense knife, or you only used it very occasionally, it's probably not really a big problem. It's probably actually better to have something that is stronger in the lockup, especially if you might be like doing puncturing or stabbing sort of motions on things. You know, less chance, or if you were to strike the back of the, even if it was only by accident, if you were to strike the back of the blade, less chance of the knife failing, I suppose, and causing user damage. Yeah, it's only the difficulty in locking up that I don't like. Everything else is fine. So if you were just to use this for very occasional tasks, it's probably not a big deal. But to fidget with it, like when you first buy it, it's not the most enjoyable knife. Okay, that'll be enough for the frame lock or liner lock knives there. Cool.